Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for checking into Khaliis Take. Now, today's take, we'll be talking about how the media is wrong about the Lakers. Now, before I get into that even further, I would like to tell you, please like, subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell for any future content so you can get it first. And also, check out my prior videos as well. I think you'll like those. I think you'll like the content. And please leave any comments and anything on those as well. But now, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. When I say the media, how they're wrong about the Lakers, they sit there and make excuses for this team. And I'm really sick of it to a point where it's like, do this for other teams then. Because the media sits there and make it seem like, oh, the Lakers will be fine when they get Anthony Davis back. Oh, they'll be fine when they get Dennis Schroeder back. Everything is okay. Yeah, I get that, because Anthony Davis is a generational talent. Anthony Davis is a top 5, maybe top 10 player in the league. Of course they will be better. But my thing is, you make it seem like just because they get Anthony Davis back, they're just going to flip this switch and then all of a sudden they're a championship team. No, they still have issues. And the issues that they have are really glaring now, the fact that Anthony Davis is not there. Because a lot of times, when you look at the Lakers, Anthony Davis made up for a lot of their inconsistencies and their woes and the reasons that they, really might not be as good as a team that you think. So now when you look at the games that they're losing, and because Anthony Davis isn't there, and also Dennis Schroeder, I got to give him credit too. He's been playing really good this year. I think he's been averaging about like 14, 15 a game. So I got to give him credit too. But now that they're not there, you really see the Lakers' weaknesses even more. And when you see a team's weakness like this, I don't think it's something that we should just overlook or not try to look into just because, Anthony Davis is coming back. Because last time I checked, this isn't even really one of Anthony Davis's most productive years. Matter of fact, this year, Anthony Davis is playing a little bit worse or not as good this year as he played last year. Last year, he played his best basketball I've ever seen. This year, he's been kind of slack a little bit. This year, he hasn't been, quite as, to the level how he was last year. And I'm not saying that's not good enough for him to win a championship. I'm just saying that if you compare his numbers and how he plays this year, efficiency, player efficiency rating, all that, it's not as good as last year. And when you look at that in its entirety, how does Anthony Davis just all of a sudden make this team so much more unbeatable or something like that? Like he's a Kevin Durant or something. Don't get me wrong, I love Anthony Davis, but Anthony Davis is not a Kevin Durant. He's not that type player. And I wish a lot of people would, not try to put him up there as that caliber player just because he won a championship with LeBron. It was the reason of LeBron was the reason why they won the championship. Don't get me wrong, Anthony Davis made a huge contribution. And I've said on other videos too, where I thought Anthony Davis was the reason why, but now the more I look at the team, and how, what's been going on, why Anthony Davis has been out, I kind of altered my decision on that, because it's like, wow, yeah, LeBron really does do even more of the work than what it even looked like last year. It looked like Anthony Davis was just so unstoppable. To me, it just looked like, Anthony Davis took over everything. But hey, I got to give LeBron credit. He's still doing his thing in year 18. And he did his thing last year in year 17, which propelled them to the championship. And I definitely give him, much credit on that. And the only thing I'm saying is, when you have a team like this, you have to base them the way they look right now. And all the media just makes it seem like, oh, well, they can just flip on and turn. They can just flip a switch and turn it on when Anthony Davis comes back and Dennis Schroeder come back. Well, this is true, but when they had Anthony Davis and Schroeder, didn't they lose to teams like the Clippers? When they had Anthony Davis and Schroeder, didn't they lose to some other teams that, that they possibly could have beaten? Which maybe they should have the #1 record in the West. It's the reason why Utah has #1 record in the West. I'm not a big believer in Utah myself, but, you are what your record is. So, I definitely will give Utah that. And maybe Utah is a really good regular season team. We just got to see them do it in the playoffs for it to be solidified. And that's where I'm at with them. But at the same time, if they were so dominant and so this and so that, then how come they don't have the record Utah has? How come the Lakers aren't #1 seed regardless? And that's my point. Stop making excuses for the Lakers just because LeBron is on there. The Lakers have weaknesses, and I can tell you one of their biggest weaknesses. I said it in one of my prior videos, so please go ahead and check out my other videos. I said it before. When they let go of JaVale McGee, when they let go of Dwight Howard, their whole team really changed, because now even last year, when you look at the Lakers, when AD sat down, when AD took a breather, a rest, putting Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee in there, they weren't equivalent to AD scoring wise, but they were equivalent to AD rebound wise, protecting the rim, being a big man presence in the paint. And that's something that they're missing so much this year. And even the games Anthony Davis has played, you still could see it. And I almost feel like, because they don't have those pieces there, Anthony Davis, he's playing good this year, but he's not playing at the level he was last year because he had more freedom. He had more one-on-one matchups where he can, hit his, mid-range 17-footer or take you off the dribble and go straight to the basket because you had to make up and worry about the other big men or other big man in the paint, because even though Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee can't score like Anthony Davis, they still are a presence in the paint. And on top of that, you have to have a guy out there to block them out, because you know how many rebounds JaVale and Dwight Howard was getting last year? They were getting quite a few. And between both of them, they probably was getting close to 20 rebounds a game. And how many of those 20 plus rebounds a game between both of them they were getting was offensive rebounds? Probably 5, probably 6. You got to look at things like that. So now that the Lakers don't get a lot of second chance points, they have to make everything count when they score because they don't have extra size in the paint. And that's something that they need to address. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If they don't address that in the trade, before the All-Star game, after the All-Star break, who cares, whatever it is, that might be an issue for them going forward. Because of, AD, as much as I like AD, he's always been injury prone. So who's to say Anthony Davis won't get hurt again? And hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully LeBron doesn't get hurt with all the minutes he's playing and he's saying all this stuff about he's not tired, all this stuff. That's another story. But still, you cannot bank on that with Anthony Davis, a player who has been known to be injury prone and who has shown that throughout his career so far. And this is what I'm saying. If they don't address the elephant in the room, I promise you, that could really come back to hurt them in the playoffs. Because think about like this, what is the weakness that the Clippers had last year, specifically when they played the Denver Nuggets? And when Denver figured it out, Denver won the series, even though they were down 3-1. They already won the series because they had Jokic. They had somebody that killed them in the paint where the Clippers didn't have nobody to guard him. And that's what the Lakers have this year. The Lakers do not have a presence in the paint where if they play somebody like the Nuggets in a 7-game series, even though I think they probably would beat them, it might be tougher than what people think because Jokic really has nobody to guard him. And if Anthony Davis sits down, if they get Anthony Davis in foul trouble, that could be a 5-game series turned into a 7-game series. Possibly. Especially if Jamal Murray gets going in the playoffs like he did last year. If he gets going, well, it definitely might be a 6-7 game series because now you're putting more onus on LeBron to defend a player much faster, much younger, and that can move a little bit on the court. And Jamal Murray can put up points when he can score. So it's not like LeBron will have days taken off on defense because he would have to guard Murray, I believe, if Murray plays the way he's supposed to in the playoffs. And that's what I'm saying. Hypothetically, if they play a team like that with no presence in the paint of what you're seeing right now, it doesn't matter if AD is there. They still can possibly lose and might not make it back to the finals. Because when you lose that type of interior presence, I'm telling you, it doesn't better your chances of winning a championship or repeating. It only makes it worse. And like I said, I like AD, and I've always liked his game. I always thought he was a generational type talent. I always thought he was a great player. But at the same time, you can't put it all on, the Lakers are not playing so good right now just because Anthony Davis. Just because Anthony Davis is not there, it does not mean you don't play with effort. We understand that Anthony Davis is not there. We understand that they're not going to win as many games as they would or should if AD is there. We get that. But at the same time, that doesn't matter in regards to effort. If the Lakers go out there, if Anthony Davis comes back and he's putting up just killer numbers, and Schroeder comes back playing the way he's supposed to, it's not going to make a difference really if KCP is shooting 20% from the three-point line. It's not going to make a difference if Alex Caruso is shooting 20+% from the three-point line and not scoring the way he did last year. It's not going to make a difference too much if Kyle Kuzma gives you 16 one night and 8 the next night. And this is what I'm saying. The other guys also are a part of a championship foundation. And last year, when you look at the Lakers, KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, how good was he shooting in the bubble last year? He was shooting damn good. How good was Caruso playing more last year? He was playing really good last year. Not saying that he's not playing good this year, but I'm just saying those other guys make up for it. And what I'm saying is, so far to me, looking at the Lakers, those other guys are just not in tune. And now you've added Marc Gasol, and you added Wesley Matthews. Tell me how that's working out for them. Wesley Matthews doesn't even look like he belongs in the NBA anymore. Whatever year he popped his Achilles years ago, I feel like Wesley Matthews hasn't been great, hasn't been good since. And then Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol is a former Defensive Player of the Year. But I mean, you're talking about when he played for the Memphis Grizzlies. Do you know what year that was? That was like 2009, 2012, 13. Right. Marc Gasol's not that player no more. Now, can he still stretch the floor and knock down threes? He can, but he's not doing it at a high level as he used to. Because when you look at Marc Gasol out there, I mean, I know one game I looked at, he played over 25 minutes and only had 7 points. 7 points are not going to get it done. You're not going to beat a team in a 7-game series with that type of production from one of your other guys. It would take a heroic type performance from LeBron and AD just for them to win games the way their role players are playing. And are you telling me that they're going to do that consistently for a 7-game series 4 times in 4 different series? More than likely, that's not going to happen. And that's what I'm saying. Stop giving them credit. Stop giving the Lakers a pass, because the media gives nobody else a pass. If the Brooklyn Nets are on a 2-game, 5-game losing streak, they are going to probably sit there and say, oh, well, the Nets are not who we thought they were. Or, yeah, maybe we need to slow down how good the Nets can be. You're not doing that for any other team. The Clippers, they could probably go on a 10, 15-game winning streak, and you'll never sit there and give them any credit for what they're doing at the moment in time. So why keep making excuses for the Lakers? Why do that? And this is why I say I believe the media is so wrong about the Lakers, because if you think they're just going to flip a switch and go in there and just turn on and win a championship, they're not the same team they were last year. Last year, like I said, they had JaVale McGee, they had Dwight Howard, they had more size in the paint. And on top of that, they had playoff Rondo. And we all know how good playoff Rondo is. And he showed it once again last year. Knock down big shots when you need him to, play stellar defense, makes the right passes, get everybody in their spots where they're supposed to be. You don't have that this year. And without players like that, it looks like the KCPs, the Carusos, and the Kyle Kuzmas, they score points at times, but they don't look in rhythm, in place, more so like they did last year. And what I'm saying is, if you think Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder is just going to come back and they're going to flip a switch and turn to this championship team, you just might be mistaken. Trust me, the Lakers have issues just like a lot of other teams. And because they do, the media needs to start looking at them and assess the Lakers the way they assess all other teams in the NBA. Because it seems like a lot of times when I look at, Nick Wright and, Shannon Sharp, people like that, you're basically just giving the Lakers a pass, even though they're losing right before your very eyes and they're not even playing with effort. Last time I checked, just because your name is Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and you don't make the same amount of money as LeBron James, that doesn't mean you don't play with effort. That doesn't mean you don't do your job at the highest level possible. And this is what I'm saying. They're not playing with effort, energy, and a team that really gives a damn. And last time I checked, teams that win championships not only have talent, but they go the extra mile, which means they give a damn about what they're doing while they're on the court, and playing with effort is what it's all about. You're going to lose games sometime by 15, 20, 30 points. Yeah, that happens at times. True, because this is an NBA season. It's a long season. But when you look at the Lakers overall, those role players, they're just not playing the same. And I feel like the way the Lakers are playing now, especially now that Anthony Davis and Schroeder is out, they're just making excuses for themselves. Oh, we're not playing as good because of Anthony Davis. One guy does not make you play with effort. Anthony Davis doesn't help you get a paycheck every time the NBA sends one to your bank account. You do. Anthony Davis didn't help you get to the league. You did. So take your effort and energy and put it on the court and play as if Anthony Davis is there. Because when Anthony Davis does come back and you're playing with that energy and that mentality of I need to give all my effort and play my very hardest, well, when Anthony Davis does come back, it's only going to fit more. And it's only going to give y'all camaraderie and y'all gelling more stability. Because if Anthony Davis comes back and, we're just waiting on Anthony Davis to come back, then we'll flip the switch on. Well, what if Anthony Davis doesn't come back the same? What if Anthony Davis comes back and he's not playing at the high level he was last year? I just said earlier in this video, if you look at his numbers and the way he's playing this year, it's not on the same level of how he was playing last year. And it could just be the fact that he won a championship. He's kind of, just living off that high or just waiting to show out in the playoffs. Maybe. But at the same time, this injury he has is a little bit more serious than what people are making it out to be. Because if it wasn't, he would have just been out to 2 or 3 weeks like they said at first. And he'd already be back by now. But they extended another 2 weeks just to be precautious and everything about, him and, where the team is going and, just his health overall in the future, because they're going to need him in the playoffs, of course. I get that. But at the same time, you cannot sit there and say this injury is significant, because if it wasn't, he'd be playing right now. And if he was playing right now, would they be on the losing streak they're on or lost to the teams they lost to? Probably not. But at the same time, even when Anthony Davis is playing, you can still see they miss those interior big men players in the middle, in the paint. You can see it. And I know I can see it. I know a lot of other people can see it as well. I mean, because think about it. If they, like I said earlier in the video, if they were so great with Anthony Davis and all this other stuff and repeat champions, wouldn't they have Utah's record? Why is Utah sitting at number 1 at, I think, 26-5 or 6 or something like that? Why is Utah sitting at that record and the Lakers aren't or weren't? Think about that. If they were really what everybody say, then they would have the same record as Utah. Maybe not at this point now because Anthony Davis missed a few games, but until Anthony Davis got injured, how come they didn't have the same record as Utah? How come they weren't at that elite level? Because their interior defense is not the same. And Anthony Davis doesn't make up for all that. Because you're asking Anthony Davis to score a lot of points, he's not going to play that high level of defense all the time. So stop giving the Lakers a pass. Stop letting them off the hook. The media, you guys are just fanboys of LeBron. I get that, but let's just be realistic. The Lakers have issues just like every other team in the NBA. The Lakers, last time I checked, they're not 35-0 or something like that. They're not undefeated. So, and the Lakers issues, like I said, they really show more so now than ever. And I know LeBron can see it. And I know LeBron's whispering in somebody's ear in the main office, which he should be, because what I'm seeing here, these guys either need to play with effort or we need to get somebody in here that will. And that's just what it comes down to. So, like I said, we're going to see exactly how the season goes for them going forward. When they get Anthony Davis back and everything, hopefully they get Anthony Davis back. I think maybe if they play the Nets or something like that, hopefully they get that. That'd be great, or, just more high-powered teams. I want to see Anthony Davis come back and, get back in his stride how he usually is. Because I want everybody completely healthy. I don't want no excuses playoff time. So if the Lakers don't repeat and everybody's completely healthy, well, I want to hear what people have to say then. I'm not saying the Lakers won't repeat. I'm not saying that. I don't want nobody to take that the wrong way. I'm just saying, based upon this team and some of the weaknesses that you see, don't sit there and put a check on it and say, hey, the Lakers are going to the championship, no doubt about it, because they have to get through Utah or they're going to have to get through the Clippers. And for some odd reason, I've been said this before, if they play the Clippers in a 7-game series, I don't think it's going to be like what a lot of people think. The Clippers may have slipped up against the Nuggets last year because they just wasn't really looking at them as a contender. They just really looked past them and they got caught slipping. But everybody knows the Clippers get up for one team and one team only. And I personally think the Lakers might have got a pass yet last year. And luck was on their side because everybody knows if there's one team that's going to give the Lakers trouble from getting to the finals, it would be the Clippers. Because that's the one team that matches up with them the best, of course. And that's the one team that gets up for them specifically every time. Early this season, what happened between them and the Clippers? First game of the season. Right. So the Clippers won, right? And that's my point. If they find themselves in a 7-game series with the Clippers, I'm just not sure if the Lakers are just going to walk to the championship. It might take 7 long, hard games to beat the Clippers because that's not only a team that wants to beat them, but that's their rivalry team. And if AD is playing how he's been playing this year, I'm not sure. They can win the championship, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't or if they get there. Unless they fix the issues that I addressed in this take. So, hey, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. We definitely can discuss that and go back and forth in the, Khaliis Take community. I have no problem with that. I definitely want to, get your take on it as well. And as far as this topic, I mean, hey, till next time.